If everyone could begin to take their seats, we're going to get started in just a couple minutes. Should I just sit there once I introduce Robert, or sit over there? Okay. Pick what chair. Yeah. Sure. Makes sense. All right, we want to welcome everyone to Callahan Hall here today. Certainly an exciting day for both the men's and women's basketball program. My name is Jeremy Otto. I'm the men's basketball television announcer for Detroit Mercy here today. You're going to hear from both head coaches, and the media will have a chance to talk with individual players and coaches after we're done as well. I want to kick it off with the athletic director, though, Robert Bowles. Robert?
Thank you and good morning. Hope everyone's doing well. I want to welcome you to the 2019 Detroit Mercy Men's Women's Basketball Media Day. We have Dr. Antoine Garibaldi in the audience. Appreciate you being here. We've got our TV partners and radio partners with WADL and 910 AM. Dave Bangura is here. We have some distinguished alumni. I see Chuck Rader in the audience right there. So we appreciate everybody coming out and being out here today. Both coaches are going to come up and talk to you in a bit. Coach Scott and Coach Davis are working hard with their teams. They've been doing it for a while and getting ready for the seasons that are going to be coming up. The new season is going to bring some excitement and some anticipation. We have new faces and we have some returnees who have come back and who have improved. We have some challenging non-conference schedules, and they're going to get us ready to play our conference schedules coming up. Real quickly, men's basketball on November 10th starts out with North Carolina State on the road. The home opener is December robust. I want to thank ESPN, I want to thank WADL, and I want to thank 910 AM for their help in broadcasting those games. This year, coming up with our Hall of Fame and jersey retirements, we have Willie Green, Earl Curitan, Eli Holman, Frank Russell, Archie Tullis, and Lydia Johnson. So make sure that you stay tuned for those celebrations coming up. Around the athletic department, quickly, as you see out here on Titan Field, for the first time in 55 years, we have lights on the field. So that's been exciting, and that happened on September 14. We have some other projects going on with the help of our fundraising, and Jason Verlesi is helping us with that. We have some projects to the tune of about $2.25 million. It's really called A Road to a Championship. It'll be the entrance into Callahan Hall, the lobby, and the Hall of Fame. We're going to look at sports medicine, the Titan Club, this basketball court, replacing it, the multimedia room upstairs, sports nutrition, and possibly some residence halls. So we have a lot going on with things on campus here, and we're excited about the new season coming up. So with that said, I'm going to bring up Coach Bernard Scott to talk about his team and the schedule for this year. Coach Scott.
Thanks, Robert. Good morning. Practice for us is going well. I have really enjoyed coming in every day and working with this group. They're a group of hard workers, have good team chemistry, and are all in for the program. So I'm pretty excited about them. After 2 tough seasons in a row, as a program, we feel we have a lot to prove. We have a totally different team this year. We have 8 newcomers, 4 returners that are able to play, and 5 freshmen, 3 transfers. So far, 2 out of the 3 transfers are eligible to play this upcoming season, and we're still waiting on 1. We have with 12 players, we have 10 of them that are freshmen and sophomores, so we're pretty young. With having so many faces, they're still getting to know each other on and off the floor, but so far that process is going well. We're doing a lot of team building exercises along with just practicing daily to make sure we're all on the same page with what we're capable of doing. I like the talent we have on this team. They aren't afraid to compete. They want to be the team that changed the look of the program. So that's exciting. We were picked 9th. We were picked to finish 9th in the Horizon League, and after last season, that's exactly where we should have been picked. As a team, as a program, we look forward to the challenge of proving to everyone that we're not a 9th place team in our league. So we're working daily to make that happen. As Robert mentioned, our non-conference schedule is pretty competitive as usual. I like to play a competitive non-conference schedule because it'll prepare us for the Horizon League. Everything we see in the non-conference we shouldn't see anything that we won't see in our league. So we're going to play a Big East team. We're going to play Michigan State. We're going to play Butler, play a few MAC schools in Toledo, Western, Eastern, and those guys. So it's a really competitive league, conference schedule. November 5th will be our first home competition, and that's against Loyola of Chicago. We played those guys last year in a close game, so it should be another pretty good game this year. Be good to get a lot of the students and fans out to support us. When the games start, we'll be ready to work hard and compete, and as long as we do that, everything else will fall into place. So that's pretty much it on our team, and we're just looking forward to seeing everyone and getting the season started. Thank you.
Next up will be Coach Mike Davis.
First of all, thank everyone for coming. PJ did a great job setting this up. This is really first class. Great to see the president here as well. And also, congratulations to Earl getting his jersey retired this year. We want to make sure that when we retire guys' jerseys this year that we really get the fans out and show a big-time support for those guys because, you know, the history they put here, the tradition that they made here is what we're trying to live up to right now. And speaking about my basketball team, I'm excited, my coach is excited, but I'm really excited about the non-conference schedule. Our first game is North Carolina State. Then I think we go to Clemson and play at Clemson. And then we fly out the very next day and go play Wyoming the next day. So it's only one day in between playing Wyoming. And we got Notre Dame. So there's a really, really tough non-conference schedule. I planned it that way because I want our guys to be ready for the conference. This year for us, the conference is really, really important just because of us not being able to go to the NCAA tournament. And if we get a waiver, fine, but if not, our guys have really given great effort. If you win from effort, we're going to have a winning season. But they're giving great effort every single day. The last 2 days have been the best practice that we've had here in a long time. Errol came out last night, and we talked about just the effort that they've given. Now it's a joy to watch film. We watch practice film and seeing guys flying around and really playing the highest level from an effort standpoint. Now, we're not as talented as I want to be, but at the same time, you got to love the effort, and we can continue to get the effort the way we're giving it, that we're going to get some more guys in here. We played 2 scrimmage games, one tomorrow against Michigan, and we got next Friday against Central Michigan, I think. So those 2 games should prepare us for the first game of the season. But again, I'm excited, and my love for coming to work every day is even higher now than it's ever been because I see our guys giving great effort. I saw Robert standing upstairs yesterday watching us kind of fly around a little bit. And as a coach, you know, you love for your team to give great effort in front of your boss. So it made me feel really good. Yeah. And we have a new group of guys. Every guy that's here now, we recruited every kid that's here now. So I think they've bought in. We had really good kids last year. This year we have the same kids, really good kids, but the effort has been really, really upgraded from what it's been. Willie made 10 threes yesterday in practice. He need to save some of that for the season, but he made 10 threes. And this summer he spent a lot of time shooting the basketball. I think he had 2 weeks where he shot 30,000 shots or more per week. So that's a lot of effort putting in. The other guys was at least shooting 10 to 12,000 shots per week. Now, I may not want them to shoot in the game, but they put the shooting in. But we want them to be prepared and be ready. Antoine and Willie and Jordan, those 3 guys, I think, got up the most shots. They was getting like 30,000 per week, 25,000 per week. So from the work standpoint, it's there. We also have a kid that we're trying to get eligible before we play. We get him eligible. He's an inside player. Last year he played at Louisiana and he had 22 points in the first half against Kansas at Kansas. So he give us an inside scoring threat that we haven't had. And if we can get him eligible, that'll give us an inside scoring with Willie from the outside and as well as Antoine from the outside. So we have another guy, B.J. Maxwell, who's a 5th-year senior. Last year he was ranked 11 in the country in efficiency. So he's a really good, solid basketball player, about 6'3", 6'4", plays really, really, really hard. Just try to get him to understand what we're trying to do. But from that standpoint, we have some guys that play. We have Derrick Rose' nephew. We have Clyde Drexler's nephew. We have John Calipari's son. So we are a team of everybody could play outside of these guys, you know. But no, I'm just kidding. Dwayne is a good player. He's going to really help us a lot. Brad Calipari can really shoot the basketball, and his dad, John, owed me a game here next year with Kentucky. We want to try to get Kentucky here in Callahan Hall, and not at Little Caesars. We want to pack our gym so our fans can come in and watch. And buy up all the seats before the big blue people come in here because they're coming, so we want to get our tickets early. But I'm really happy and really excited. And like I said before, I tell Robert this all the time. This is my dream job. This is the job that we want to take it back to where Earl and those guys played and get it even better if that's possible. But that's the goal that you want to shoot for. And again, all the alumni, you're always welcome to come watch us practice anytime you want to come and watch us practice. But we're looking forward to our 2 scrimmage games and our first game of the season. Thank you very much.
That kind of wraps up our program portion here of Media Day. Individual players from both teams are going to be available for those media looking to talk to them in just a few minutes. For those of us watching online at DetroitTitans.com and on YouTube, we're going to take a short break, come back with a couple interviews with both head coaches, so stay tuned for that.
It's always out there. The horizon. A reminder that our greatest goals are rarely attained. And as soon as you reach one, another emerges. But every day we rise and work harder, dig deeper, ask one more question, take one more shot in relentless pursuit of our horizon.
Provides so many different experiences and opportunities that allows us to tie in everything we learn, how to apply that outside of the class.
There are a number of different programs that we're a part of to help bring the community back and revitalize the city of Detroit. Doing service with...
Talking about finances can be confusing, difficult, scary, murky even. But it doesn't have to be with Money Mentor by Michigan First Credit Union on your side. More than 90 years ago, Michigan First was founded on the principle of putting education first. Today, Money Mentor continues that tradition because affording the lifestyle you want isn't always easy. Check us out at MichiganFirstMoneyMentor.com or follow us on social media for tips, tricks, blogs, and videos today.
To be Jesuit is to be more, to go deeper. 28 schools, 56 teams, sharing a passion, formed by academic rigor, classic performances, legendary character, made complete through service to others, and a faith that does justice. Jesuit basketball, mission, mind, and body, on the court and off.
And welcome back to Titan Media Day. I'm Denny Kopp, voice of the Women's Titans, alongside Titan head coach Bernard Scott. Coach, earlier this week when you were speaking with members of the Horizon League, you mentioned that the 3 words that define this team were family, hard work, and fun. Let me start there. This past summer, you had a chance to spend some time with your family for a change and this new team. How did Bernard Scott enjoy this, what I call off-season tongue-in-cheek, because I know it's a full-year job for you?
Yeah, well, I always enjoy life, period, but this summer was really fun. The staff and I had to really work hard because we had some players depart. We had to make sure we brought in some more players to replace them, but also not only that, to make sure that they were players that fit the culture that we wanted them to fit into. But as a family, I'm always a family guy. My family will always come first. I want this program to be a family atmosphere, and that's what we've tried to build since I've been here, and that's what we will continue to build. So it was a good summer for us.
Bernard, speaking of family, one of our family members left us a couple of years ago and have come back. You brought back Kayla DeCrucio, which is really nice. So what does Kayla add now that she's had some time to go away, see things from a different perspective, and come back?
Yeah, Kayla was a GA for us for 2 years, did a really good job, and I always knew she was on my short list to bring back if we had a position open. So we were able to do that this year. She brings back she's very organized. She's all in for the program. She's a young lady that carries herself well, someone our players can look up to and respect. So it was really big getting her back, and she fits with our staff.
On the podium a few moments ago, you mentioned that the last couple of years have been challenging and this team has something to prove. What can you realistically prove when you're bringing in 8 newcomers? What's the end goal for you?
Well, the end goal for us is to get back to being a team in the Horizon League that people have to respect. The past 2 years, we haven't been that team. We've been a team that has struggled. We've been a team that really needed to improve, and I think we've done that with the players we brought in. Even though it's 8 new players, there are 8 players along with the 4 returners that are together, that are all in for the program, that want to be here, and right there changes our culture right away. So yeah, the past 2 years has been tough, but we didn't run away from that. We're not running away from it. This year we'll be ready to prove that we're a better team.
3 years ago, Zoe Otis was a freshman and got to taste some success. A Horizon League runner-up team. What can she provide as a senior? With I understood that 4 of the 8 newcomers, or 3 of the 8 newcomers, are transfers, but there's 5 freshmen that are looking up right now to some of the elders on this team. What can Zoe provide based on the fact that she was part of a winning team 3 years ago?
Well, she can provide that leadership. She knows what it took for us to get to that championship game a couple of years ago, and she can tell the newcomers and tell the freshmen all about that, how hard we had to work to make that happen. So her leadership will help that. Also, her leading by example. Zoe's been our most consistent player up to this point. So I think she's trying to show the players 2 things: that you got to work hard all the time, but also, one day you're a freshman, now she's a senior. This is it.
Well, let me look at a couple of those newcomers right now, and specifically a couple of transfers. The one that obviously stands out to everyone that's looking at your roster right now is 6'5", Nicole Johansson. Nicole played in some very limited minutes at Valpo, just 3 games in her redshirt freshman year, but I've heard a lot of chatter about how she has grown quite a bit from high school. Can you just kind of put into words what that 6'5" presence can mean for this team that's really struggled on the glass in recent years?
Yeah, it's going to mean a lot. I think she's going to be a really good presence for us. She's a young lady that's very skilled around the basket. She runs the floor very well. If we happen to go zone, she's a big presence in there when people are trying to attack gaps. But the most important thing, Denny, is that she's a great young lady. She's a great person. She fits the culture. She wants to be here, and she just wanted opportunity. So when we saw she was available, we wanted her to be here. She wanted to be here, and we wanted to give her that opportunity she's been waiting for.
Another one I've heard a lot of buzz over the summer is Allie Reif. She comes from Xavier, and her numbers weren't anything to, really draw attention if you're just looking at a box score. But my understanding is there's a lot more than those numbers at Xavier that meets the eye, and she's been a pleasant surprise so far.
Oh, the kid can play, Denny. Forget her numbers at Xavier. Might have not been the right spot for her, but here it's the right spot for her. The offense we run fits her game. Our style of play fits her game. We're going to use her in a variety of ways. Her versatility, her ability to be able to knock down jump shots, but also go off the dribble is something that we've missed here the past couple of years since Haley Rostowski left. So she's going to be key for our offense, and once again, just another great person with a great family that we're happy to have here.
One of the returners I'm actually looking forward to, and I should have brought up earlier, is Jess Bicknell. I had a chance to see her in high school and the success she had, but having been around your program since you took over, Coach, to me, she had probably the most promising freshman campaign that I can recall of a player that you knew was going to be an impact player the second year in your team. Phrased that way, what do you think that Jess can do to improve on her game from last year?
I think she's going to do what she did last year, and hopefully at a higher rate. She was able to score the basketball last year. This year, she's going to have a few more pieces around her, so we won't have to depend on her as much. She'll be able to get her offense within the flow and us not have to ISO her so much. So she's looking good. We're happy she's back, and we look forward to her having a great sophomore campaign.
Alex Burr is one of those players. You talk about a freshman and you want to see progression from the start of the year till the end of the year. And I remember countlessly talking to you after games about the progression I saw from Alex, especially in the defensive end. She really provided a really nice presence, and then she started becoming a little more confident in her shot in conference play. What have you seen from Alex? Has there been progression from last year? Hopefully so.
Yeah, there has been, and the thing about Alex is her leadership. She's really stepped up in that role as somebody that can talk to the team and talk to the coaches about the team as far as if they need a break or anything. But as far as basketball goes, we expect her to keep going forward. She's done really well being physical, scoring around the basket. So I look forward to her giving us some valuable minutes as we move on.
Last but not least, if you could just maybe touch on one or two of the freshmen that you think are going to have a pretty big impact that you want to take a moment to brag about. It's been a lot of recruiting to get to this point.
Yeah, it's hard to pick out one or two because all five are pretty good and will play valuable minutes. If I had to pick one, Solaire Starks is going to be a young lady that we believe is going to give us some quality minutes. She's someone we had to beat out some quality schools to get, and her scoring ability, her versatility will be big this year. Annika from the Cleveland area, point guard, she's going to be solid. Markaya, I mean, Denny, I got to go through all five of them because I'm impressed with all of them. All of them want to be here. All of them are working their tails off, and I expect all of them to come and play some valuable minutes.
Hopefully you'll get out there and have a chance to come down here to Callahan Hall and see them play in person starting November 5th. That's 2 weeks from yesterday. This is Titan Media Day along with head coach Bernard Scott. I'm Denny Kapp. Let's take a pause, and when we come back, Jeremy Otto will be with the head coach Mike Davis of the men's team.
It's always out there. The horizon. A reminder that our greatest goals are rarely attained. And as soon as you reach one, another emerges. But every day we rise and work harder, dig deeper, ask one more question, take one more shot in relentless pursuit of our horizon. Indianapolis, the heart of hoops hysteria. And beginning in March, the home of the Horizon League men's and women's basketball championships. 8 teams look to reach the horizon and punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament at the Indiana Farmers Coliseum. Semifinal action takes place Monday, March 9th, and Horizon League champions are crowned Tuesday, March 10th. Visit HorizonLeague.com for more information and to score your tickets today.
Welcome back to Callahan Hall and Media Day here at Detroit Mercy. Jeremy Otto back alongside the head coach of the men, Mike Davis. Mike, thanks for sitting down. Certainly an exciting day here today, kind of the unofficial start of the season, right?
Very excited. I'm excited. People coming out, and maybe one day we can build up where it's a packed house for our media day. But there's a good group of fans and alumni that came out today.
You know, something that's noticeable, even, you know, at the couple practices that I've attended so far, just the energy level, and you kind of alluded that up there. But these guys are competing hard, knowing, you know, what's in front of them, right?
We are, and like I said, everybody's here. You know, we recruited them here. Nothing against anybody that was here when we got here last year, but these guys understand what we want, and we've had more time to work on it all throughout the summer. And so right now, you know, the last couple of days has just been crazy from an effort standpoint. Now we have to carry it over into the season.
You have a couple more veterans, I guess, coming in this year, some more transfers, and that's something you kind of preached last year. Hey, I want, you know, guys that have experience. So talk about, I guess, that level and some guys coming back maybe that have a year under their belt now.
Well, again, you know, we have 4 sophomores with Chris and Willie and Bo and Marquise and even Antoine that we would hope to have redshirted them last year, but they didn't redshirt, so they got a chance to play. And this year they're back with a little more energy, well, a lot more energy than what they had last year, a lot more understanding than what they had last year. And so what they have to do is continue to understand that the level they are now has got to be much higher when the season starts, and even much higher when the conference season starts. And so if they can understand that and not settle or give in to, okay, I'm going hard now, but to continue to push myself, then our experience becomes very, very important because of what they got from last year.
And the actual press conference, you also talked about how many shots these guys are getting up. And I know you kind of talked about, hey, last year maybe some guys didn't buy into that. Antoine obviously was taking his shots. Willie was taking his shots. But everybody's taking their shots now. You think there's a little bit more, hey, like, yeah, that we have to do this now, and we realize why we have to.
Well, I think everyday improvement is the key to anyone and anybody. And I think they understand that. Do they understand? On a scale of 1 to 10, they're probably at about a 6. You know, because if they're 9 and 10, I wouldn't say anything to them. So it's a continuous conversation with them and get them to understand. Continue work, don't settle, because what you have sometimes is you'll play well in practice, but if you're playing well in practice at the level of effort that it takes in a game, because you get used to what you're seeing and going against every single day, and you can't practice like that, play like that. You got to practice and play like what you're going to see at the best level. And if you can get to that level without seeing it, then you have a chance to be a good program.
Really solid non-conference that you also kind of talked about that. Are you happy with, what you were able to put together in terms of schedule?
I love it. I love it. I love the challenge. I love like we playing 3 ACC schools, which is great. I'm not sure that ever happened here before, but we're playing 3 ACC schools. Try to get a couple more, but unfortunately we couldn't get them. My non-conference record has never been important to me. It's about the conference. We're trying to win the conference. We're trying to compete for a conference championship. That's our goal.
Absolutely. How far away are you from where you want to be in terms of game number 1?
We're a ways away, but like I said, we have 2 scrimmage games. Until we play someone different, you won't know where we are and how far away we are. So we'll get a little more understanding in where we are after we play our 2 scrimmage games.
You talked about some of the guys that are really performing well. Maybe who's a guy that's really rising up that's surprising you so far in camp?
Well, Dwayne Rose has been a big surprise to me. When he came in this summer to work out, I knew his uncles well. And I recruited Derek out of high school when he was in Chicago. And so, I was going to give him a scholarship no matter what, just because of the relationship that we have. And I figured if he went to Toledo out of high school, he had to be pretty good. But I was really surprised about how good he is as a basketball player.
Sure. Who are, I guess, some other guys you're looking to maybe step up as the preseason goes on?
Well, it's going to be done by committee. You came to practice, you watched us practice. We're really sharing the basketball. That ball is moving really fast, and we're doing some good things. We got to get better, even in that area, but it's 20 times better than what it was last year.
In terms of defense, you guys played almost exclusively zone last year, maybe mixing it up a little bit more this year?
We're going to do all kind of things. We hadn't played the zone that we played last year, but maybe a couple possessions in practice. You watch us practice. We're not even really playing the Syracuse zone really at all. We're doing some more things to kind of mix everything up to get the tempo going. We gotta be. We're not big. We got 2 big guys hopefully coming here soon in December, but we're not big and we want to be. But we got to be active and we got to get to the gaps quick. We got to make people make extra passes. We got to rotate like crazy, and then once the ball is shot, all 5 guys got to go rebound the basketball.
Coach, thanks for stopping by. We certainly look forward to catching up with you as the year goes on.
Thank you very much.
Well, thanks everyone for watching here throughout Media Day. We'll see you throughout the season, both on the radio side and the TV side.